For more on the ongoing efforts, I'm joined by retired U.S. Navy Captain William Toti. Now, he served more than 25 years in the Navy. I appreciate you being with us. You know, I'm learning a lot about the submersible industry right now and some of these deep dives. I think we all are. I kept asking, why wasn't there a backup to the backup to the backup? And you seem to highlight the lack of pre-planning in case of a catastrophe. Can you explain your thoughts on what we know so far?
That's right, Marni. Sometimes in these experimental systems, the submersible is treated as if it's a standalone, when actually it needs to be part of a larger system where you've pre-planned what happens in a casualty and you stage systems that you're going to need in case that casualty occurs, where you have processes and people in place who've rehearsed recovery efforts and things like that. And a lot of times, just to save money and time, the companies that build these things bypass what are normal safeguards. And that's a problem that's not limited to this situation, but it seems to have happened here.
So we're hearing the phrase deep ocean salvage system, some of the technology and equipment they're using if they in fact find it to bring it safely to the surface. What exactly does that mean and what will it look like?
Well, it's going to be ship-based, and it's going to be a system of hoists and winches that can lift objects from very deep in the ocean. The problem is it's not fast. It has to be deployed by ship. It's got to be a vessel of opportunity, and it takes a while to get the thing configured and hooked up. So that's kind of an option of last resort, I think, at this point.
Right. One, we have to find it, right? That's the focus at this hour. You've got these 5 members on board. They're saying that they heard some underwater noises. Some describe it as banging. That can't be confirmed. What do you make of that development? It's been about 4 hours since they heard anything. What might it be?
Well, we want to remain hopeful, Marni. I've spent years of my life underwater, and I could tell you the ocean is a noisy place. You hear banging and clicking and all kinds of sounds that you believe are human generated, but actually are biologics. In my opinion, if this were actually them, they would bang in a way that would be unmistakably them. They would bang out a signal, an SOS or something. Just mere random banging, I don't give it a high level of hope that that was them.
The hope is, though, that they have 17 hours and 51 minutes left of oxygen, that they're alive, they're trapped in this submersible. They have to remain calm for very important and critical reasons to their own survival. What type of training, given your experience, do you go through to prepare yourself for an environment such as this against the clock?
The most training you can get is to make sure that the people are trained to remain calm. There are procedures for things like this when you're in that vessel. There aren't many options left to you to train for. But, you know, again, we want to remain hopeful. But as time passes, of course, the less optimistic we become.
Has anything like this ever happened before? I mean, not to my memory, but even within the military and submarines and people getting trapped, I mean, does this compare to anything you've ever experienced?
Remember in 2017, the Argentinians lost a submarine, the San Juan, and that was a much larger vessel. And we had a pretty good sense of where it was located. And it still took a year to precisely locate it and figure out what happened to it. So yeah, these kinds of things sadly do happen periodically. It's happened to Russian submarines, happened to 2 American submarines. But as far as a submersible goes, I know of no other situation like this one.
What do you know about the provisions that they would likely have on board to survive for this long, given that they didn't plan to be down here this many hours?
I don't know much specifically, but there's common sense. This is a much larger submersible than most others, so they have a little bit more room to move around and to carry provisions on board. I know they would have had some water and some snacks, but beyond that, it's really about the air and about how long that air is going to last.
Talk about the technology, Captain Toti, that they're using on some of these Navy vessels to try to track sounds, maneuver through these deep waters, and look for things. Sonar is one. What are some other things that they're using to try and locate them?
Sonar is really the only thing you can use for a broad area search, whether it's a side scan sonar, which can survey the bottom. Basically, you like cutting the grass. But even that takes a long time. You've had to have some idea of where to look.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.